Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys, taking a look at Tesla. Bulls still holding on inside bar day, not a bad setup. We came down, tested EMA 4, which is something I've added to my charts with a very, very faint gray line here. And we've got this inside bar level, 247.94 resist, 244.84 support, so $3.10 and change. Very, very tight range today. And I'm going to be looking for a bull break of that 247.94. I'd love to see it during regular trading action. Pre-market always tends to just negate inside bars for me. It's great to see interest, but I want to see key levels being broken with conviction, and I want to see walls fall. When walls fall and the bulls are excited, that's when prices move, not when we're slowly just poking into the abyss to see what resistance may be out there and what may not be, and then casually going in that direction. That's sort of the way I look at that. Anyway, 240, where is that? 247.94 resistance. Still a potential higher low on the daily. I'm not so confident in calling this a bull flag anymore, but I think you could make an argument for a bull flag, and I probably would agree with you, but it's all about the inside bar. On the 4-hour time frame, we are getting into an important area here. We've got resistance 248.24. We saw this come into play here on the 18th, the 248.17 rejection. Got very close to it in today's trading action. So I will consider this to be in bull territory with that inside bar bull break, and I will be very excited and more interested, in fact, if we get over 248.24. 4-hour uptrend will be in place with that break, and we are setting 4-hour higher lows. So on the hourly time frame, we are seeing these higher lows come into play. Here's that range of today's action: quick low, quick high, and a little bit of equilibrium looks like going into the end of the day. So a nice setup on Tesla. Watch out for the break of that inside bar 247.94. If instead we break bearish, we are going to look for a break of 244.84. Then we will start knocking at these hourly supports, 242.37. Then I'll jump to the 4-hour time frame and look for support at 240.37. Below that, that's quite a big drop. So let's hope bulls can keep things together. So far, so good. And we'll see how tomorrow treats us. Have a good night. Hey guys, Jason here, taking a look at Netflix. Pretty bearish day for Netflix, and it's going to be a continuation of this hourly downtrend. The loss of those levels yesterday and the establishment of that hourly downtrend carried a lot more momentum than I anticipated. But we still have this 282.66 daily support level. It looks like it came into play. We saw a bounce near that level, and we'll take a look at it. A lot of bearish momentum here. So really it comes down to, can we hold 282.66 tomorrow for a triple bottom and hopefully a little bit of a bounce. Right now, bulls nowhere to be seen. We'll see if we're oversold on any time frames. That can be an indicator of a possible turnaround, just as it was an indicator of a reversal way up here on the 17th. So daily time frame. Nothing irregular here, just a bearish day, normal candlestick, 282.66 daily support, and the resistance on the daily time frame, aside from our higher days, is going to be on the 17th. So I'm going to adjust my candlestick there. And of course, we're back underneath that dreaded EMA 12 on the daily time frame. 4-hour time frame is for the bears. Currently, we are in a 4-hour downtrend. Our last high was 293.81, so that is going to be resistance for us, and we've got some support again at 282.50, so keeping an eye on that. 4-hour time frame in the area of oversold. We have 10 points to go before that comes into play, but it will come into play on the hourly should we dip back down there. You can see today that we bounced just off of that 30 level. We called our 282 into support, or into action, as we dip down to that level. So the idea here is that when you get into an hourly oversold position against a major area of support, that gives you possibilities for, at the least, a bounce. And so far, that's all we're seeing. Overextended on the hourly time frame. Against 4-hour support, we see bears tire out and bulls get a little bit of an opportunity to carry the price up. Now we are looking for rejection from EMA 12 if we're going to keep this hourly downtrend in place. Current hourly resistance, 293.81. And we're looking for a low underneath 283.40 for that to continue. What I would love to see would be rejection from EMA 12 tomorrow, coming down, testing that support level, and getting into hourly oversold conditions again, and getting a more substantial bounce. So, should we lose 282.50, what's on deck? Well, not a lot of support here on the daily time frame. Let's zoom out and see if we can find anything on the weekly, because that's what we'll be hunting for. And unfortunately, not a lot to be seen on the weekly time frame. So we're going to be playing these oversold bounces and these low RSIs until we establish more popular basis support. That's it for today. Thanks. Hey guys, Jason here taking a look at Apple. Key thing for Apple right now is that for the last 5 or so trading days, we've set higher lows. And that's going to be key. It's also going to be hard to maintain. We'll talk about that as we get into the 4 hourly time frames. But as long as bulls are able to maintain these daily higher lows, they're going to remain in charge. That's going to be a harder job as we head forward. Daily resistance 223.76 and support 220.37 RSI. Reaching into overextended areas, but we're having these red days that allow this to cool off a little bit. Sitting at 61, we don't want to get too much further up there because that takes some momentum out of a potential bull run. We need consolidation. And this may come if we lose these daily higher lows. As I said, 220.37 is the daily higher low from today. And this is the 4 hour time frame. So this is where we start to look at that coming into play. We got overbought on the 4 hour time frame. We had a big drop to 216.30. When we get a big drop like this, we don't expect to just automatically resume higher highs and higher lows. Instead, we want to see, we have to be prepared for a lower high under 226.42. Now, if we pull back from this conclusively, 223.76 as a 4 hour lower high, then we are going to change that daily trend by stopping that process of having daily higher lows. 220.37 is that higher low. And as you can see, we are on the downswing of the cycle potentially. And if we knock that out, then we are at risk of entering into a 4 hour lower high, lower low pattern, which would be looking like this. This is just theoretical. We just need to prepare for all scenarios, and that's one of the scenarios we need to prepare for. If bulls can defend 220.37, then we can look at some sideways consolidation, and that will add a lot of strength to the bull case. RSI is happy at 54.38, so we could absolutely see that coming into play, and bulls really need to get to work to defend that level. So on the hourly time frame, what are we looking at? Higher highs. We've lost the hourly uptrend after we've dropped below 221.74. So again, we are expecting to see a lower high under 223.76. Now, this is only going to be more beneficial or more likely if that RSI is already oversold, but we are at 43.53. So we have a very strong potential of simply knocking out that 220.37 and dropping further into a more aggressive hourly downtrend. At this point, we really don't know. It's all going to come down to what happens when we get to 220.37, and hopefully we do that during regular trading action tomorrow. So should we get into that hourly action, we break 220.37, we have support at 219.44, and below that 217.02. And if we manage to hold 220.37, we are going to look for some sideways consolidation, get over those EMA 1226s, and see if we can't resume this hourly uptrend with the resistance at 223.76. If we manage to get over 223.76, 226.42 is the next resistance to look up for. Hey guys, Jason here for TheChartGuys, taking a look at Amazon. The last 2 days have shown a lot of whipsaw action, ultimately closing in indecision candlesticks. And that's pretty important because it shows you that we've really got, well, if you watched yesterday's video, not really sure what's going on here. So this is more of a stand back, watch to see what happens, and wait for a more substantial trend to jump out at us and give us something to work with. Not every day or every candlestick or every ticker has an opportunity for trading. Sometimes it is just noise, and sometimes you're going to get whipsawed out of your money. And technical analysis tells you when you should and when you shouldn't touch things. And right now, unless there's a much more clear signal on the sub time frames, this is telling me that the entire market doesn't know what's going on with Amazon, and we need to be very, very careful with it. We do have, well, you know what? I don't even want to say we have EMA support because we're going sideways, and you can see that because our EMA 12 and our EMA 26 is pretty much neck and neck. It's keeping pace with each other. Slight differences, of course, because there's slightly different inputs, but when you go sideways, your MAs just stop working. So I'm going to be watching key levels for our support levels, resistance levels. 1817.90 is going to be the daily support, and I want to see if we're going to get over 1832 first, or are we going to lose the important 1795 first. So this is the range that I'm paying attention to. This is all I care about right now. 4 hour time frame, we are seeing well, not even a 4 hour uptrend. We lost 1,800, but bulls managed to buy that back. And when you see a substantial break and you see the lack of volume in that direction, and in fact you see the opposite move, you expect bull volume and bull breaks to follow. But of course we don't really see that. We get a little pop, but then the bulls give that back right away. So this is where we're getting this indecision. The rules and the concepts that we're trying to use in technical analysis aren't working, so we need to step back until they actually do. On the 4-hour time frame, higher highs, that's great, but we're also setting lower lows, so that's that increasing volatility. Hands off, wait for clarity. On the hourly time frame, here's some good news. We got something to work with. Hourly uptrend. 1795, 1821, 1812, 1832. So bulls need to hold this daily support level 1817. Have that be our higher low. We'll know that's the case when we get a couple green bars to follow, and then we'll look for a break of 1832. If we get a couple of good volume bull candlesticks here, we will look for a short-term long position. This would be like a day trade type thing, looking for a good 5-minute entry, and then come up to see what's going to happen at 1832. So let's just play hypothetical. If we're looking at our action tomorrow morning, what we're going to wait for is a little bit of early morning craziness. The first 15 minutes, or at least the first 10 minutes, are always a little bit choppy. And what we want to see is maybe come down. Let's say we test 1820, we get a nice 2-minute trend change, and then we start doing a little bit of motion up to the 1832 level. So that's like a, pretty loose, perfect case scenario. But what we're trying to do is just, optimize our potentials. If we're looking at the hourly time frame and saying, hey, we've been in an hourly uptrend and this is possibly our higher low, let's go down and test that. Let's see if that holds its support. If we get a 2-minute trend change or even a 5-minute trend change at that level, and then we will look to a continuation of the overall pattern, which would be a intraday swing up to test new highs and looking for potential weakness at 1832. That's just one of the things we could do. It's what I'm going to do tomorrow, and I encourage you to do the same. Good luck to you. If you're going to force a trade on Amazon, that's pretty much the only thing I would look at right now. We need to establish more long-term clarity. The daily candlesticks are telling you that the market doesn't know what it wants to do with Amazon, and you need to listen to the market.